stay close to me.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I'm talking to you about the big Firebird EX-01 Nicee. It's their take, it's a very stylized take on a G1 representation of Arcee. I really think this is an awesome figure. It's better than I thought it was. I actually didn't have as high of hopes for it going into it as I do right now. I'm going to leave a link down below where you can get this at Show Z. I got mine at Show Z. It's there for pre-order also. Let's get right into this. Here is a look at the packaging. A lot of white, just a lot of white dead space, empty space. Looks pretty simple, actually. You can see the bot on the side. You see a bunch of stuff on the back that you can do with it. Alt mode on the side. Yeah, basic packaging. I'm actually surprised it came a little bit dinged up because it comes with an extra brown box special on the outside. So here she is in her alt mode, and I have to admit, this is a very beautiful alt mode. Looking at it from the top perspective, top down, this thing just looks really good, and you can see the seats molded in there, you can see the dashboard, the steering wheel. Looks like an Arcee. A little bit stylized, a futuristic look, but still really, really cool. I do like the metallic of this sort of a pink that it's got going on. Also, I like that the white isn't actually a bright white. It's kind of like a pearl white. It does have some transparent plastic for the windshield and for the headlights, and it also has it for the tail lights. Looking at the back, there's some I like the detail that's right in here too. It's just a great looking alt mode. There is some gap in here. I tried to work a little bit to get rid of it, but from some angles it just makes it look a little bit cooler. Some angles it kind of just looks off a bit, but still it's very, very futuristic looking. I do like the way this looks. It really works very well. Excellent alt mode. It actually rolls a bit. A little earlier it was rolling a little better, but it does roll. It does look good. The bottom of it is similar to a lot of these other Arcees in the way they transform. I did take her hands off. A lot of people are not going to like that. They're going to go, it's not parts former. You don't have to, and I felt like it was going to kind of hang up when it was rolling in alt mode, but I don't think it actually would now, so you really don't have to. I didn't really feel like messing with putting them back on, but not really that big of a deal in my opinion. Real quick comparison to Arcee. Now this Arcee is more of the 30th anniversary. It's the KO version. I guess Wei Zhang did it. Let's see if we can get looking right there. Now this is a little bit smoother, but if you can see the contours, they actually match. So it's really, really similar. The colors don't match so much, but the contours of it really do. Looking at the back of it, I think Hasbro did a really good job with this figure, especially for the alt mode. Originally when they first did it, so it looked pretty good, and this thing here holds up pretty well too. Here's how she looks with the likes of Blur, and this is the Takara Hot Rod, and I think that it looks good. It fits in scale wise, it scales well, and aesthetically it still works and gets the job done. She looks a little bit more advanced, not quite as G1 and Toon inspired, but of course it's based off of Arcee, and you can tell it's Arcee. To get into the transformation, looking at this, we're going to separate these back pieces from the tail fin piece, and oddly enough, it's harder to get it out. This thing kept falling out for a while, but separate that, separate this. Wow. It felt like it would never stay in the first place. We're going to set this aside for now. It's the shield. You can also store the weapon in here if you choose. We'll show that here in a little while. Let's go ahead and untab this tab right here and this tab over here, and then we can bring the legs down, and you just have to get them positioned. Bring the legs down and get them into position. You do need to turn the feet correctly. Open up the heel spur, which actually can be a bit of a challenge, but it's good. It's really good that this is tight. It's unpleasantly tight, but at the end of this, it's going to be worth it because she's going to be able to stand well with her high heels. Like, that's something that's impressive, is that she's going to be able to stand with those high heels. And we have the legs more or less done. And we're going to have to work on the upper part of her body. Looking at this, we are going to disengage these pieces here, the flare parts, and push down on it and then pull out. So it tabs in and plugs in there and then tabs in there. Same thing here. Pull out, and then we have this segment ready to disconnect from this. Then we can fold this piece here down, out of the way, and then this piece can move back so we can separate, get that out of the way so we can separate these arms. Now the arms at the elbow are tabbed in right here, so you will have to untab that. So it does tab in pretty solid. Once you get this in alt mode, it tabs in pretty solid, and I do like that. Now this whole mechanism here is going to shift backwards onto here, and then you can plug this in like so and turn her head around. Let's get the back of this here cleaned up. There's a lot going on in the back, so you do need to flip this up, pull these out a bit, flip this up and over, and then they show you to move this down, and I don't like that, but that's what we're going to do for now. And then I'll show you an alternate version, and then we can slide this down into that cavity, and we got quite a bit of kibble there. And we can move this around, get these shoulders a little bit more into place. I'm going to plug the hands in here in a second. Then these wheels here are going to need to fold inward like so, and we pretty much have her transformed. Gonna need to get this chest all the way into here. It's not quite all the way in, and I'll plug the hands in, and we'll do a few more things and have a look at her. So here is big Firebird Nicee in her robot mode, and she looks really good. This is a very nice looking bot, I have to say. I do love the metallic finish, I love the paint, I love pretty much everything about this figure. It does feel a little bit lightweight though. It doesn't feel like there's die cast. I thought there was supposed to be some die cast in this, but maybe I was wrong. Anyhow, this does look really good. Starting from the top, her head, it's a pretty nice head sculpt, even though it's not the Arcee that I was wanting and expecting. It does have, it's on a bit of a ball joint or a swivel, and you have another extra movement at the lower part of the neck. And that looks good, the way she can get all these different poses with that neck. Looking at the shoulder, it does quite a bit. You can get all the way out to the 90 with it, and of course you can move it all the way around. Backpack gets in the way quite a bit, but you can do 360 with it, and you do have the biceps, the swivel there. You have the 90 at the elbow. It's not a double jointed elbow, and then the hands are on ball joints, and they can do all kinds of stuff. We're going to see a bunch of different hands here in a little bit. You have rotation right here in the upper area, which that's pretty good right there, but not in the waist itself. You don't really need it. You have like a double universal going on at the hip area, which works fine for me. And then you do have a double knee there, and with the knee you have these pistons. It's kind of like next level almost. These pistons work very, very well. They look really good, and the knees are nice and tight, and I like that tight so that you can hold up this figure with this giant backpack that's going on right there. Now you do have in the ankle here all kinds of stuff that you can do with tilt, front and back. It's just quite a bit of a mechanism right in there. Looks really good. Looking from the back though, there is quite a bit of kibble, and we're going to look at this and I'm going to dissect it a little bit, but this is the way it's kind of supposed to look, more or less, with these bits hanging off the back. I'm not a huge fan of all of that. And then we do have this shield part, which can plug into these holes in the arm, and that holes in the arm where the shield plug in is also part of the transformation, so you can have a shield if that's something that you want. Or you might want to move the shield this direction also, but I don't know if I really want to do that. Also with the shield, before we move on from the shield and I show you some kind of my customized look, which is the way we're going to look at her for the rest of it, I will show you another thing that the shield does. And I only noticed this because it looked kind of, this fin looked a little bit off, but it comes off and it plugs in by itself. So that's cool too. If you wanted to have like an extra gun on there or something, or maybe you can look like a blade, that would work too. This is when I first saw this figure, was will we be able to remove all of this kibble. So we're gonna kind of slide this out of the way, and I'm gonna try to show it, but you don't have to pull her up all the way. There is this piece right here. It's connected. If you just kind of wiggle, you can remove this whole front end, and that's gone. But I accidentally completely dismounted the whole upper section of her. But anyway, so that's gone out of the way. The second thing I want to do to kind of clean her up is to fold this back, and then you can lift these pieces up a bit, and then it will sort of give you the signature look that she has with this piece here. These pieces are still going to show a bit of a backpack, a smaller backpack, and she's going to look a whole lot cleaner. Now that cleans her up, and she takes her down to pretty much a bare bone figure, which makes her look closer to a G1 Arcee, which is actually, in my mind, what I'm going for. But you could go even a step further, and you could pop these pieces off, the ball joints and all of that. That is something that can be done. But let's go ahead and get a look at some of these other accessories. In addition to all the accessories that she's already had in a bod mode, she comes with a whole entire tray full of accessories, and we're going to go through these one at a time real quick. I'm going to show you the head. So she has an alternate head. So in order to swap out the head, it's actually too easy. You pop it out, and then you pop another one in, and there it goes. Looks really simple. This one here is more of a jumping for joy and screaming for joy kind of face, and yeah, with the anime and the big eyes and all that stuff, still looks pretty good. She comes with an alternate set of rubberized these things.
They're called boobs, Ed.
And these, since they're rubbery and rubberized, they don't have paint to them, and so that's kind of like, do you want to put those on there or not? And I don't really mind putting them on there, but they're not hard. All you have to do is untransform her again, pop her up, pop these out, pop these in, and you've got her back. And I always, whenever I do that, I seem to lose the head. I don't know why, because the head on and off's that easy, but that's the difference in the chest, Ed. That's the difference. And it doesn't exactly match the most, but it's not too bad. And I don't know, I like the shiny better, so I'm gonna go with shiny. So I'm just gonna show you the different hands. We have sort of a closed fist hand. We have, this is a thumbs up, or it's gonna hold the sword, and then this is more of an open, casual kind of hand. We've got this one here that holds an arrow, and you have another one that holds an arrow. So we're going to actually do the bow and arrow look next. So the way you do this is basically a pretty simple maneuver. You pop the ball jointed hands off, you pop the ball jointed new hand on, you do the hokey pokey. There you go. Now with these on, we're going to bring in, and I don't know, one side seems harder to swap hands than others. We're going to bring in this bad boy here. So I've already plugged in this little piece here. It just plugs in right there, and it's simple. And then we're going to put that into this hand. So my trick to getting this all to work is not really that hard. It's just how you angle the whole arm, and then again, this still kind of takes away from the look because of the way I had that. But anyhow you slice it, it's going to take a bit of work to get her into this pose, and maybe you're not happy with it, but there's a lot of different things you can do to kind of get her with the bow and arrow pose, but that's a thing that is possible to do. Now, in all honesty, I probably won't be using the bow and arrow pose very much, but I will be using the gun and the sword. So when you look at this gun here, you separate this gun, and it has a nice pearl finish, a lot like the other ones here. Slide this into her hand that you'd use to pull the bow and arrow, and then you put the gun back together, which is something I've never seen done before in a Masterpiece figure, but it works. So we also have this sword, which it's painted beautifully. It looks great. It looks awesome. It's not quite Sword of Omens. I don't know, I saw it and I thought Thundercat's Sword of Omens. I don't know why I thought that, but doesn't look anything like it, but that's what kind of stuck out with me. So Okay, so getting into this, let's put this sword into the hand, and there she is with her gun. And I do like kind of having the gun posed up and then maybe a sword out to the side as she just stands there and wreaks a little bit of havoc. Zoom out on that. Let's go ahead and get some quick comparisons going on. This is the actual 30th anniversary Generations version of Arcee from Hasbro, and that's a good aesthetic comparison. It does look like Arcee. Hopefully we get a head like this pretty soon. That would be really nice. Here she is next to the Fans Toys offering. I actually was hoping she'd be a little taller than the Fans Toys option, but I guess I'm okay with the height. I just thought she'd be taller than this. Aesthetically, she looks really good, and she holds her own next to Fans Toys. Again, with a better head sculpt, I'd like her even more. Now here she is next to the MMC version, which the MMC version's so short she's almost a chug scale, almost. That is kind of sad. The MMC is an actual excellent figure, but there they go side by side. And Toy World is still the tallest in the bunch, and I do still like the look of Toy World. I know Toy World gets a lot of hate. I don't know if Firebird Nicee is going to get a lot of hate, because she is a good-looking figure and operates pretty well. So we'll see which one of these two gets most hate at the end. There's a bit of a group shot of, well, I guess you could say all the Arcees I've got right now. I think I might have a couple other ones, but anyway, this one still is a nice little group of fembots. This has been the big Firebird Nicee. This is a great figure for the EX-01. Their first release right out the gate. I was really impressed by the paint, the aesthetics, the presentation. It feels pretty solid. I like the tightness of the joints that make it hold up really well. It can hold some poses. It looks really good. I'm really happy that they were able to get rid of this kibble. You could take some of the kibble off and make it removable. That is outstanding. You can move some stuff around. You can make it look however you want, or you could leave it stock however you like. I think that is excellent. This figure really works. The alt mode looks great. Getting it into alt mode feels a little questionable at times, but once you find every pin and tab it together and tab it in tight, it holds. And I liked that too. Very nice figure overall. They actually have another figure coming out, and they're going to be doing a wind blade, so I look forward to seeing that one in the same type of style. Yeah, I got this. It shows that you can get yours there too. They're pre-orders now, so you're waiting on a second run, and maybe on the second run we'll get that Arcee head, I hope. Let me know what you think about this figure. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger out.
Daniel can make himself useful with this. It was Spike's exosuit.
But Hot Rod and Cup are still outside the city. I was afraid you'd be trapped outside the city. Stay close to me, Daniel!
Did we have to let him detonate 3/4 of the ship?